All right, for our exit ticket today, it asks you to write your answers in a complete sentence and make sure you have a quote from the text to get full credit. The first question asks us to use evidence from the text to support the idea that Aset and Usir are good gods. So if we go back on pages 1 and 2, those are the pages that tell us about Aset and Usir. And if we've underlined the evidence like we were supposed to in the other educanon, you should already have evidence underlined about how you know they are good gods. The second question, so press pause to write down your answer and then play for number 2. The second question asks us, use evidence from the text to support the conclusion that Set is evil. And so on pages 2 and 3, we begin to learn that, Set is envious of Usir. And I'm going to keep reading on pages 4, 5, and 6 so that you can continue to collect evidence about how he's evil. I'm at the top of page 4. But still Set had to watch Aset's face as she gazed at Usir, and now he looked around and noticed how humans adored this sister and this brother that they had chosen as their queen and king, and his top lip curled. There were so many humans by now, they just kept multiplying. And that meant Set's brother Usir was king of far too much, and was loved by far too many. Sometimes a brother doesn't need a reason to be spiteful toward another brother. Set was almost sure he would have hated Usir no matter what, regardless of how Aset loved him. Underline that. Set was almost sure he would have hated Usir no matter what, regardless of how Aset loved him. That is a clue that he is evil. Let's keep reading. Regardless of how his own son Empu admired him. But the way all those people loved Usir, well, that was beyond the pale. King of Egypt, bah! Set's inside swirled like the very strongest of tempests, with lightning and thunder and shrieking winds, and in this stormy state he vowed to himself to crush Usir. Underline that sentence. In this stormy state he vowed to himself to crush Usir. That is another example of how Set is evil. You can press pause to write down your answer to number 2. When you're ready, we're going to keep reading so we can find the answer to number 3. How does Set destroy Usir? What does this reveal about his character? So now we're going to learn about Set's plan to destroy Usir. Make sure you underline evidence. Set held a banquet. Underline that. He arranged cones of scented fat in a large circle and set them ablaze to keep away pesky mosquitoes. He gave the goddesses lotus flower necklaces, knowing, of course, that this would endear him to Aset. He filled a basin with sparkling clean water for everyone to wash their hands in. Then he served them bread and great quantities of beer. As they were rolling around, satiated, he pulled a cloth away to reveal a beautiful box. Underline that sentence. He pulled a cloth away to reveal a beautiful box. Usir ran his hand appreciatively along the intricate carvings. Where did you get this, brother? Next page. The combination of gold, gilt, the color so dear to the great god Ra, the deep blue paint, the color so dear to his beloved wife Aset, made the box nearly irresistible to the unsuspecting Usir. Underline that sentence. The box was painted in colors that made it unsuspecting to Usir. It's superb, isn't it? Set leaned in toward Usir with a brotherly intimacy. Tell you what, whoever fits perfectly in this box, well, that's the rightful owner of it. I will regale the person with this fine box. Underline that sentence. Whoever fits perfectly into the box will get the box. Each guest took a turn lying in the box, but each one was too short or too long or too fat or too thin. In contrast, Usir fit perfectly. Underline that sentence. Naturally, for Set had taken all the relevant measurements of his brother as he slept and had the box built just so. The instant Usir lay inside, Set and his helpers rushed forward, closed the lid, and sealed it. Underline that sentence. Then underline the next sentence. Set lifted the box over his head and flung it with all his might into the raging Nile River. And for the first time in so long he couldn't remember, Set felt triumphant. He was rid of Usir, rid of the scourge of his life. At last he could be all he wanted to be. He stood in no one's shadow. Such is the brutality unchecked envy can wreak. But good has its own way of responding, and both Aset and Usir were deeply good. This story is far from its end. Great. So we have collected evidence for number 3 about how Set destroyed Usir. Make sure you go back to all the things I asked you to underline so you can put it in your own words. Don't forget to answer this question. What does it reveal about Set's character? And then number 4, read the following quote. But good has its own way of responding, and both Aset and Usir were deeply good. This story is far from its end. What is the author trying to communicate? What's the author trying to tell you when he's saying, this story is far from its end? What does that mean? Write it down. Why would the author include the following quote at the end of the text? Silently write down your answer. Make sure you have a complete sentence and a quote to support all your answers, except for these on number 4.